Hi everyone, it's Randall with Carter Hill Honeybees, and in today's video I'm up at the nuke yard I established a few weeks ago. Been about 10 days since I put the Formic Pro treatment on there after determining they needed a treatment. I will not be doing a post-treatment check due to the fact that they was not excessively high now, and it's worked very good in other yards, and it's not that far off to honey harvest, and I'm just not going to do it. But today I'm here to evaluate how much honey they're taking on, and the one down on the end, the tallest one, was made from the extra queen I had from the package colonies, which was a big split I done. And I feel like it's probably going to need a super, so I brought some supers up here today. Now, I mentioned in a previous video I'm out of drawn comb, so I super up in a particular sequence in the late winter and spring. I start out obviously with my drawn out combs, and once those are used up, and then I'll follow right behind with supers or foundations I put on at the end of last year that the bees may have started drawing or partially drawing, and I call these partial supers. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here's I think I got 12 or 14 in here, but all these are supers last year. I did sling some honey out, but they wasn't fully drawn out, and that fair's almost fully drawn out. But these frames in here are various stages of being drawn out, and I'll put these on, and the bees should theoretically finish drawing these out this year. So I put these on the very next. So here's one that drew out a pretty good bit on this side and not hardly at all on this side. And hopefully they'll pick up where they left off last year and draw these on out, and that'll give me additional honey supers to use in the future. All right, I got my smoker going. Let's get over here and get started. I'm going to start with the taller colony down there that's obviously going to need a super most likely. So here's the one I done the split off of. I did not treat these, but coincidentally, all these colonies are looking very good. I don't think the Formic Pros had any kind of negative impact on them. They're all working heavily right now. It is about 10 or 15 minutes after 6 in the afternoon. There's some beautiful kind of golden flowers blooming here in this field. I don't know what they are, but they're obviously getting something somewhere. And again, I made this split with the extra queen I got with the package colonies, and I put 3 empty mediums on this thing at the time I put the treatment on about 10 days ago. So I want to see what we got. Well, we've got bees all the way up to the top. I'm going to lightly smoke them. Generally, a lot of smoke is not required at this time of the year. The bees are so focused on getting nectar and other resources that you can almost work some colonies without smoke. And this frame here is probably about 3/4 full of honey. It probably weighs about 1.5 pounds. So they're working on these top supers, which is pretty impressive for no longer they've been up here. And they've started filling here on this one here, and they're working a little bit on the perimeter. So looking very, very nice. So today I am going to go ahead and add another medium to here. I think unless we get abruptly interrupted, I think there's a good chance they will draw some of the comb. Super only had 9 frames in it. I'm going to go ahead and add a 10th one to it. I have got them to draw these out with 9 initially successfully in the past, but I'm going to go ahead and put the 10th frame in here because I got some extra ones in a super over there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that will reduce the odds, hopefully, of them drawing cross combs in there. And incidentally, since there's not a huge population, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put the ventilated slot on the front of this one at this time. Quite frankly, unless this colony dramatically changes in the next couple of weeks, I won't put it at all this summer. Well, there's that one, but I don't know if I've got 3 mediums above that's clear, but I've got a pretty good chance of getting 2 mediums of honey off of this one. A pretty good chance, because they're already working well up into this one. And you never know. That's the reason I got it up here. The colony could pick up a good nectar shot here in the next couple of weeks, and you know, they could draw this one out. We'll find out down the road. So we'll move on to these nukes that's been here just a couple of weeks or so, and we'll see how they're doing. Can't smell any of the Formic Pro in there anymore, so it's completely gone. Well, I want to see how the bees are doing with honey, see if they're putting any above the excluder. I see some bees up here look like they are putting honey up here, so yeah, they've got a good deal of honey. This frame's probably a little over half full. It weighs about a pound maybe. So they are putting some honey up here. That's a good sign. And also remember, this medium underneath the queen excluder, it's empty as well, or it was empty as well, so they're filling it at the same time. But this one on this edge here, I noticed there's quite a bit more bees over here, so let's take a look at it. It's got a little bit more honey, but they're filling it up nicely. So it does look like we're going to get some honey off of this colony this year. I don't know if it'd be more than one medium. But I'm going to go ahead and put a partial drawn out on here, and maybe we'll get lucky and they'll finish drawing it out. And I can't remember if I mentioned it a few minutes ago or not, but I am going to just leave the remnants of the Formic Pro treatment in here. It's designed to do that, and once I harvest the honey, I'll take those remnants off. But the off-gassing is complete at this time, so you don't have to worry about getting it off, and there's no needing it right now. But I'll get it off at harvest time or shortly thereafter. So I got a good chance of getting at least one medium off of this colony. So on to the next. Not a lot of bee activity up here at all with this one, and this colony's not working that strong, although it is working. So we got a little bit of honey right there. A little more than a fourth of the way full that frame is. And check this frame over here. I feel like this one's not going to have anything, and it don't. So just looking at the population in here, there's probably not more than 200 or 300 bees up here, so I'm not going to add a super this time. Okay, this one has a pretty good population up here. I can see that immediately upon taking the inner cover off. And I can see evidence of white wax being deposited on the tops of the frames, or the cells that's on the frames. That's where they're putting the white wax. I'll see if I can illustrate that for you. Well, a little bit right in there. They're really not doing it down here, but they've got a good deal of honey in here. This frame's a little over half full. It probably weighs a little over a pound, between a pound and a half. The bees are working every frame in this super. I can see bees with their heads in the cells in every frame of this super up here. So I'm definitely going to put me a partially drawn on here, because there's a decent chance they can draw that out once they get this full. A little bit of funny comb on this one. I'm going to knock it off. This would be kind of my primary bait comb right here. Most of the frames look like this, but there's enough here that they should come up here and get started, if, you know, assuming they get have enough incoming nectar to do so. You know, I would say the odds of these getting drawn out and full of honey are probably about 40% this year. So that's not overwhelming odds, but it's definitely worth having these on here. And if they don't draw these out, I'll just simply pull out and sling out whatever honey's in here, store them up, and put them on the next year and try to get them drawn out again. Okay, this one don't have near as many bees as the last one, but they are probably about 300 or so up here. And they're starting to deposit a little bit of honey in there too. Yeah, a little bit, not a bunch, but I'm gonna wait on putting a super on this one. I don't much think they'll draw out one. So at the best, I'll probably get one medium off of this. Now, I'm making these guesses. Don't mean I'm not going to come back. I'll come back in about a week or 8 days and check again, and these colonies could look quite a bit different in just 8 days at this time of the year. I want to use my supers, my best supers, which the partials are still part of my best supers for the best colonies. So, and I got plenty of those still, but I want to use those up on my best colonies that have the most potential and not use them on colonies like this, it may be lagging a little behind that I'm kind of guessing may or may not. So that's kind of the reason I'm not going ahead and supering these. The others I feel pretty confident that they'll be able to draw some of those out. So here's the 5th of the 5 nucs. I think if I remember right, this is about the strongest one, or at least it was a week or so ago. Yeah, I see quite a few bees under the paper. So yes, there's definitely a significant difference with this one. I can see there's thousands of bees up here. This clearly is going to need a super. So yeah, this whole frame is practically full of honey. It just needs curing on down and beginning to cap. So this, you get one of these outer edge frames. Yeah, this frame here is probably about half full. So good chance they'll fill this one up, and pretty good chance, I'd say about a 50 to 60% chance they'll draw out at least most of a partial medium. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one on there. I'm gonna leave this in the 9 frames. There's a good bit of wax on every frame, and most of the time they'll draw this on out like this. So I'm going to stick with the 9 frames on this one. I'm not going to space it because it's still glued in there like it was last year when I took it off. So it's already properly spaced. It's not necessary for me to do that. So there we go. We're about 10 days after the Formic Pro treatment, and once again I'm not going to do a post-treatment mite wash in this situation, as I explained at the beginning of the video. We did add supers on several of them, and as you can see, they're getting a little bit taller. We've got a couple here that's lagging behind, but overall they're doing really good, and the treatment looked like it didn't affect them hardly at all. The one on the end down there is definitely the strongest of the 5. So overall I'm pretty well pleased with these nucs, and they're doing pretty good here, and they're helping these folks out with their vegetable garden. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video today. Never stop learning, and we'll catch you on the next one.